Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I need you to make sure your name is on that paper you have right now. First and last, please. At the top. So I don't do a scavenger hunt to try and find it. It's important to know how to do this stuff because we are going to have a test over all of our fractions later this week. Adding and subtracting, simplifying, multiplying, dividing. So in your journal, which you now have on your desk, if you don't have it on your desk, please get it on your desk. In your table of contents, dividing unit fractions by whole numbers. Oh, and also on one of the assignments we're doing this week, it's the review before the test. Part of the grade will be you're going to list what's in your table of contents in the order it's in. So if you haven't been writing down your table of contents, that's going to be a problem for you.
Yay! Yeah, it is.
All right, so how come I don't see everybody with their journals open? Title of the lesson, dividing unit fractions by whole numbers. Dividing unit fractions by whole numbers. Now there are two different things we have to do with division of fractions. One, which we'll look at some more tomorrow, is going to be dividing a fraction with a numerator of 1 by a whole number. Tomorrow, we're going to divide the whole number by the unit fraction. Two different things, two fairly simple. The only problem that I see arising is if you don't figure out what's being divided. What is being divided? And you do it with whole numbers, you can do it very easily. So there's not a reason why we can't do it with fractions as well. All right, so one of the problems on your paper that you're doing, and I'm going to show you both ways to do it. I'm going to show you with the visual, and I'm going to show you with the standard algorithm. But one of the problems that you have on your paper is 1/3 divided by 3. So we are dividing 1/3. So your picture needs to be divided into thirds. Now if you went horizontally, that's fine. I went vertically. Your picture needs to be divided into thirds, either horizontally or vertically. So next, we divide each of these 1/3 by 3. And then we want to see what one piece equals. Since we're going to see what one piece equals, obviously my numerator is 1. Because I'm just finding out how much one piece equals. And then it's total pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 total pieces. So each little section is worth 1/9. Each little section is worth 1/9. But let's just say, Mr. McMurdo, we're a little more advanced. We'd like to check our work with the standard algorithm. Well, if you'd like to check your work, as I said before, multiplying and dividing fractions are way more simpler. I'm not sure that was correct grammar. Way easier than adding and subtracting fractions. Okay? So there are 3 steps to dividing fractions using the standard algorithm. It's keep, change, and flip. So make sure you have that written down. Keep, change, and then flip. And I spelled change incorrectly. Sorry, my brain is still on Thanksgiving break?
Mine too.
Mine's not.
It's still Thanksgiving break.
I will drink some more of my Sonic Dr. Pepper while they're writing that.
Sonic! Sponsor him!
Okay, your focus is up here. Your focus is up here. So when dividing fractions, it's keep, change, flip. And now remember, you are allowed to use your notes on any tests I give. So writing this down will be helpful. All right, so what does keep, change, flip mean? Keep means we leave the first fraction exactly how it is. The first fraction stays exactly how it is. So 1/3 stays 1/3. So Hannah, you think you know what change means?
Flip. I know what flip means.
What does flip mean?
It means that you, the 3 that you're dividing, goes, to the denominator.
The 3 goes to the denominator. So let me ask you this, Sahana. The whole number 3. How did I write that as a fraction? 3/1. A whole number can be written as a fraction simply by putting it over 1. So as Sahana said, all I do is flip that over. So 3/1 becomes 1/3. So now you know the answer is 1/9.
Wait.
That's flip.
Oh, okay.
So you know the answer is 1/9. So what do you think the change means that's in between the keep and the flip? Knowing the answer is 1/9, what do you think the change means? Sahana? We multiply it.
I was about to say divide.
Okay? So in order to to divide fractions, you keep the first fraction just how it is. You change the division to multiplication. And you change the second fraction, you find the reciprocal, is what it's called. Find the reciprocal, which just means flipping it over. You're finding the reciprocal. Now, Kinley, you remember when we multiplied fractions, what did we do?
We went
Straight across. So Kinley, what's 1 times 1? And Kinley, what's 3 times 3? 9. So even if they give you and say which picture represents this multiplication problem or this division problem, you should be able to change it and use the standard algorithm if you need to. Anybody need to leave that written up there yet? I'm going to come around and check your notes and make sure that you're writing down what I have written down so you have these notes and you don't get yourself in trouble.
Wait.
Okay, the second one I want to show. Is going to be 1/8 divided by 8. And if I'm correct, this is one of the problems on the paper you're getting.
Yes, number 2.
1/8 divided by 8. 1/8 divided by 8. So if we're doing the picture, we start with 1 whole. The big square equals 1 whole. We need to divide it into 8ths. So we need 8 equal sections. So we're going to pretend like this is 8 equal sections.
Okay.
And then we divide those, we divide the 1 whole now by 8. So we're going to have 8 equal sections going the other direction. Okay, so your picture is going to look like that. We want to know what one little piece of this equals. One little piece of it equals. So, since we're looking at just one little piece, my numerator is 1. And then if you can count to 64, that tells you there are 64 equal pieces. One 64th. And that is how your picture will look. Or we could follow standard algorithm. Yes, ma'am.
Instead of counting them all by 1, you could go you could look up at the top, and then you can do 8 times 8.
You can use it like an array.
Yeah.
8 by 8. Good. You can use it like an array. Now, if we follow our standard algorithm, we keep the first fraction. That's our keep. So our first fraction stays the same. We change our division to multiplication. And we flip the second fraction over. Well, wait a minute. Wait one darn minute.
Okay.
Jason, this is not a fraction. How can I make 8 wholes a fraction?
You make it. Make 8 your numerator and 1 your denominator.
Good. So 1/8 divided by 8 is the same as 1/8 divided by 8 over 1. So if I flip my second fraction, then it becomes 1/8. Then it becomes 1/8. Drew, how do I multiply fractions?
Straight across.
Straight across. Numerator times numerator equals what, Drew? 1 times 1?
1.
8 times 8?
64. 16. What? 8 times
1/64.
I know.
It's the same answer we got when we showed it with a drawing.
We're drawing.
With a drawing.
Jarring.
It's a jarring.
Jarring. Jaws.
And let's do one more.
Yay!
Gus, y'all are right over there? Gus, y'all are right over there? Y'all all right over there?
Yeah.
Okay. So hopefully we're writing this out.
Oh, yes, we are.
1/7 divided by 2. Do you need to go back? 1/7 divided by 2. So I find my whole. Again, this is one whole. I need 1/7 of this one whole, so I divide it into 7 equal sections. Seven equal sections. So that's how I start my drawing. Then I divide my whole by 2. So I'm just dividing it basically in half if you're dividing it by 2. And I'm looking for one of these pieces. Since I'm looking for 1, that's my numerator. 1 out of how many, Ian?
2.
No? How many pieces are there? 14. 1 out of 14. 1 out of 14. We do our keep, change, flip. We have 1/7 times 1/2. 1/7 times 1/2. And that equals what, Izzy?
1/14.
1/14. So now you know the two ways. So you have to do your drawing, but it might also be a good idea to check your work using the standard algorithm. So now, probably on Thursday, we'll have a pre-quiz. The pre-quiz will cover adding and subtracting fractions and making sure they're simplified. It will cover multiplying fractions by whole numbers using pictures. Multiplying fractions by fractions just using the standard algorithm. Dividing a unit fraction by a whole number. And dividing a whole number by a unit fraction. So all of those things will be included. Yes, ma'am.
Is dividing a whole number by a unit fraction the same thing as dividing a unit fraction by a whole number?
The standard algorithm works the same.
Like,
The picture.
But the picture will be different.
like the key change flip is the same?
Yes.
Okay.
The keep change flip is the same, but the whole number will be different. So now please remember, on Thursday, when we do our pre-test review, the last thing you're going to do on your pre-test review is write down everything that's in your table of contents in the order that it appears
What?
on the correct page number.
No. You didn't need him to say it again, did you not hear?
That is for two reasons. One, because some of you, I don't want to put her lazy, that would be rude. Some of you are not making the correct choice to write down items in your table of contents. So I want to fix that, and I'll make that a big part of your grade. Maybe like 20% of it will be whether or not you have it all written out correctly. I don't know, maybe more. Maybe 75%. I don't know. But I want to make it as a deterrent to deter you from, to try and get you to stop being lazy. No, I don't want to say that. Making a poor choice and not writing down in your table of contents. Now this page is due today. So make sure your first and last name is on it. And then make sure you get it turned into the correct tray. Boom, shakalaka, peace out. God bless, love you. Do something kind. Sonic, sponsor me. If you're watching, subscribe.